Hey everyone, what is going on? So we are going up against PvP Steve, and I will leave a link in the description down below of his channel if you want to go ahead and check him out. So we're using a team of Vigoroth, Bronzong, Venusaur, Lantern, Sableye, and Skarmory, and his team is going to consist of Azumel, Victreebel, Toxicroak, Lantern, Skarmory, and Whiscash. So let's see how we do. So right now it's Lantern versus Lantern, and we do go ahead and get off that Thunderbolt. He's going to opt to use a shield and get off a Thunderbolt of his own. I follow suit and throw up the shield just because I want to stay ahead of the game. We switch into that Vigoroth and trying to fake him down with counters. I probably should have clicked on the Body Slam because then we wouldn't have had to use a shield against that Thunderbolt, but I got a little bit greedy there. It happens occasionally. And we get off a Body Slam against his Azumel, and we actually going to go for back-to-back Body Slams now. Azumel is a super tanky Pokemon, but if it's facing 3 Body Slams, as this one did, it's going to get really low. It does survive it, but it does get really low, so Vigoroth really did its job, so Vigoroth can definitely go down now. To this Ice Beam. It actually doesn't go down, but then he does faint us down with Bubbles, so it's very close. I'm going to pull the switch into, not pull the switch, but I'm going to switch into Lantern to knock out his Azumel, and he's going to switch into Skarmory, so definitely a favorable matchup for us. Sky Attack not going to do much to my Lantern. He actually switches into his Lantern, but it was like at 1 HP. Wasn't able to do anything, so we get off a Thunderbolt against his Skarmory, and that will be met with a shield. Going to pull the switch into my Skarmory to do as much damage as possible. I knew it was over at this point. I mean, Sky Attack is going to come out, and that is just going to do a lot of damage to him. And he's going to fire back with the Sky Attack. By the way, this is the Season 1 Championships format. Tomorrow's video will be the cliffhanger format. But yeah, we're able to... He actually hits us with a Flash Cannon now. We're able to take this on probably 2 HP, maybe 2 HP, and we fire back with a Sky Attack. Lantern, even if we fainted, would have been able to knock out Skarmory with Water Gun, but either way, we do go ahead and take that win, so it was a very good game. Very good game. So we're going to jump into Game 2. We do lead with the Vigoroth this time. He leads with his Toxicroak. This is definitely not a good matchup for us, and I have Venusaur and Lantern in the back, so I couldn't really figure out what to switch into. I didn't want to stay in with Vigoroth because I didn't want to take the counter damage, plus I didn't want to switch into Lantern because I didn't want to take the super effective Mud Bomb damage, and so my only option I saw was Venusaur, but unfortunately he hard counters into Skarmory, and he's able to knock us out. So not a whole lot we could have done there, I don't think. I mean, I could have stayed in with Vigoroth and got off maybe 2 Body Slams, I don't know, but he could have shielded it, but who knows, maybe he wouldn't have shielded it. I don't know, but either way, he fires off a Sky Attack against my Lantern, and I'm just going to farm this up. I do decide to go for the Thunderbolt because I was really low at this point, and I didn't want to either get knocked out or get a lot lower, but I guess I could have farmed it up a little bit more. But either way, he switches into his Whiscash. I switch into Vigoroth and go immediately for the Body Slam. He's going to opt not to shield that. He switches into his Toxicroak. I go for the Body Slam because we're able to get to it. Now, I would have blocked this. He doesn't block it. It doesn't matter because he's in a fantastic position anyway, and he's definitely going to win this. But we do go ahead and shield this Toxicroak because that Mud Bomb would have knocked us out. Or come really close, but I'm pretty sure it would have knocked us out. And then he does bring in his Whiscash. We're going to go ahead and block this. Now, we're just continuing to farm up. I could have went for a Thunderbolt, but he had 2 shields, so I figured there's no point. I knew he was going to get to the Mud Bomb before I was able to finish him off with Water Gun. So he does go ahead and take that one. So that was a very good game. So we're going to jump into another one. We do lead with Venusaur this time. He does lead with Skarmory. I thought Venusaur was a pretty good lead because he does have 3 water types on his team, but unfortunately he leads with basically the only counter that he has to my Venusaur, so I'm going to have to pull the switch, and then he pulls the switch and does a lot with that Mud Bomb, so that's really unfortunate for me. I'm going to go ahead and fire off a Psyshock. He does go ahead and shield that, so at least we take a shield from him, but we're going to try and get to another Psyshock as we do. We do get to another Psyshock, but I knew he had enough for 2 Mud Bombs at this point. So he does go ahead for 1 Mud Bomb, And I figured he had enough energy. I knew he had enough energy for another one. I switch into Venusaur, and as you can see, he does go ahead and go for that second Mud Bomb. But Venusaur can definitely tank it. So we're just going to finish him off with Vine Whip. And the good thing is he is out of shields. I knew he was going to bring in Skarmory, so I immediately switch into my Vigoroth. Now the problem is I have to get rid of this Lantern because I knew what he had. He had a Skarmory, and I knew that could beat what I had in the back. So I do go ahead and shield this, and I was hoping my Vigoroth could take on Skarmory. I knew it wouldn't be able to because Body Slam is going to be resistant. So he does go for the Sky Attack. I do shield this, but yeah, I mean, what are we going to do? Bulldoze and Body Slam are not going to do much to his Skarmory. So I just go for the Body Slam. I figured I could spam a couple of them as I do. But again, he's going to be able to either feint me down or get to a Sky Attack. And then he could just easily knock me down or knock me out. As you can see, he does just farm up. So it was a good play. And then we bring in Venusaur, and he has a Sky Attack ready to go, and just knocks me out. So actually a very close game because his Skarmory was low. So yeah, nicely played on his end though. So we're going to jump into another game. He does lead with his Skarmory again. This time I'm not leading with Venusaur. I will lead with my Bronzong. And we're just going to town, charging up a bunch of energy. And I do click on that Psyshock. So this is basically an even match, isn't it? Because they're both steel. They both resist each other. So not really doing a whole lot. I mean, they're doing decent amount of damage to each other. That's decent for being that it resisted, right? So getting off another Psyshock, and I wasn't sure if he was going to block this one. He does decide to go ahead and block it. I do not. I decide to, well, my Bronzong won't feint, but it's going to feint before it gets to another Psyshock, unfortunately. But at least we are up a shield, although he does have switch priority. We bring in Lantern. He is able to get to another Sky Attack. Luckily it's Lantern, so it's not going to take much, but you know, any damage is not good, you know. But that's okay. We knock him out. He brings in his Wish Cash. I charge up a little, then switch into Venusaur. Now he does pull the switch, but he's a little bit late on it. So we do a good amount of damage to Wish Cash, but it doesn't really matter because his next Pokemon in the back is going to be Azumel, and I know Azumel and his Wish Cash are very weak, obviously, to grass moves, to my Venusaur. So Venusaur is just going to be able to go for this Frenzy Plant. He is out of shields, and we still have one shield, and then he brings in Wish Cash. He does have a Mud Bomb. I could have survived this easily, but I decided to shield anyway, just in case he had two Mud Bombs ready to go. I didn't think he did, but I decided to shield anyway. And we get off this Frenzy Plant, which will knock out Wish Cash, and we do go ahead and take that game. So that was a good game. So we're going to go ahead and jump into another game beginning with Skarmory. He does begin with his Wish Cash. So we'll see how this plays out. Now I know Wish Cash does have Blizzard, which was my concern. And so we go for the Sky Attack. I figured he was charging up for Blizzard. We fire off that Sky Attack, and he goes for his Charge Move. Now, I did think this was Blizzard. I didn't think it was a bluff, and it was. I decided not to shield anyway, though, because I, for one, wanted to see how much Blizzard would do, and two, I knew I could take it. So he gets off a Mud Bomb. We could take that as well, and then I tried to farm him down as we do. So we do have that energy ready to go. We have a Sky Attack and a Flash Cannon. I immediately click on the Flash Cannon. Perhaps I should have clicked on Sky Attack. I don't know, but either way, he shields it anyway and knocks me out, so it doesn't matter. And then we're going to go ahead and bring in Venusaur right now because I know Venusaur is a tank and can take these body slams. Not going to go ahead and shield this one. As you can see, we do take it. He switches into Skarmory. I try to switch and then I go for the Frenzy Plant. I guess I must have accidentally clicked in. I don't think the game would have forced me to use that move, so I must have accidentally clicked on it, even though I don't remember doing so. But either way, it's all good. It's all good because we do get that Lantern in there and we're able to farm it down. He is able to fire off Sky Attack after Sky Attack against my Lantern, but doesn't really matter. I do believe I use my Thunderbolt because we are getting low. No, I don't use my Thunderbolt. So I do let the other Sky Attack come, but because I have two shields, we do throw up a shield. And then he is going to switch into his Vigoroth, and I'm able to fire off this Thunderbolt against him. I should have... no, I shouldn't have went for Hydro Pump. I was actually thinking of it, but I decided not to because I thought he would shield it. He does shield the second one. Yeah, we do go down to that Vigoroth, but we have Venusaur in the back. able to shield this one, and I know my Vine Whips are going to be able to knock him out. So he does actually bring in his Skarmory, so that was he actually had Skarmory in the back. I thought it fainted. I didn't realize that it was still in the back, but we still win that one anyway. So good games, and that will be it for this video, guys. See you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye.